So you know how you shop for clothes online? Well, that whole experience is about to get a massive upgrade thanks to AI. We're talking about moving way beyond just typing into a search bar. We're heading into a future where your computer can be both a super smart data analyst and your own personal stylist. Okay, let's get into it.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You land on a fashion website, and it's just this tidal wave of stuff. Thousands of shirts, pants, dresses. It honestly feels like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's just completely overwhelming.
You know, there's actually a name for this feeling. It's called the paradox of choice. It's this weird idea that having more options actually makes it harder for us to make a decision. Instead of feeling empowered, you just end up frustrated. And in the world of online fashion, this isn't a small problem. It's a gigantic one.
Just try to wrap your head around this. The big online stores are juggling literally millions of unique products. They're called SKUs, stock keeping units. Every single one of those items has to be understood, categorized, and somehow made searchable for you and me. And that incredible scale is the first huge problem that AI is now being used to solve.
So that really gets to the heart of the matter for retailers. How in the world do you manage a digital mountain of clothes? Before you can even see a product, someone or something has to catalog it. And that's where things get, well, really, really tedious. It's a process called product attribution. And what that means is every single item has to be tagged with all its little details. We're talking sleeve length, what fabric it is, the neckline style, color, pattern, dozens of little tags for every single product. This is the hidden engine that makes searching and filtering on a website actually work. And as you can see here, this gets incredibly specific. Look at all the different labels needed for just one outfit. Now imagine doing that manually for millions of items. For years, this has been a super slow, super expensive job that's full of human error. But what if you could just have an AI do it?
And that brings us to AI's first job, the behind-the-scenes analyst. The challenge was to see if a modern AI could just look at a photo of a product and automatically spit out all those crucial tags, saving a ton of time and money in the process.
So researchers set up a little competition. They put two of the newest, most efficient AI models head-to-head, OpenAI's GPT-4o Mini and Google's Gemini 2.0 Flash. It was a showdown to see which one was the better fashion analyst. But they made the test extra hard. They used what's called zero-shot analysis. The best way to think about it is like giving the AI a pop quiz on fashion history, but it's never seen the textbook. It has to guess all the answers just by looking at the picture, using only its general knowledge of the world. No special training, no cheat sheets.
And the results? Well, they were pretty clear. This chart shows something called an F1 score, which is basically a grade for the AI's accuracy. And Gemini 2.0 Flash scored almost 57%, while GPT-4o Mini was down around 43%. So yeah, it was a decisive win for Gemini. It was just way better at spotting all those tiny fashion details. But wait, here's the real kicker. The model that was more accurate, Gemini, was also cheaper and faster. It cost about 12.5% less to run and was 24% quicker. And that's a huge deal for any business because it means there's no trade-off. You're getting a better result for less money in less time. That's a sign that an AI, smarter doesn't always have to mean slower or more expensive.
But, and this is a big but, the study also showed a really important weakness. While both AIs were pretty good at spotting the obvious stuff, like, yep, that's a hat, they really struggled with nuance. The specific style of a neckline, for example, totally tripped them up. It just goes to show that these general-purpose AIs still have a long way to go when it comes to deep, specialized knowledge.
So, okay, AI can definitely help organize the massive digital warehouse in the background. That's a huge win. But does a perfectly organized catalog actually help you figure out what to wear? Does it help you build an outfit or find a new style? Probably not. And that's where we get to the really exciting part.
This brings us to the second, and honestly way more ambitious role for AI in fashion. We're moving away from the boring analyst that just labels things to a creative partner that can actually be your personal stylist.
See, to be a good stylist, an AI has to do more than just identify a V-neck shirt. It needs to understand aesthetics, what goes with what, your personal taste. It can't just be a generalist anymore. It needs to become a true fashion specialist.
So how do you make an AI an expert? You use a process called fine-tuning. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You take a really powerful general AI and you give it a very specialized education. You train it on a massive expert-level dataset from one specific field. Basically, you're sending the AI to fashion school.
And that is exactly what another team of researchers did. They followed a three-step recipe. First, they started with a powerful general model that understands both pictures and words. Then, they built a brand new dataset with over 300,000 fashion conversations. And finally, they trained their general model on all that fashion data to turn it into a specialist.
So how exactly do you teach an algorithm to have a good sense of style? Well, the secret sauce, it turns out, is all in the data that it learns from.
The researchers built this amazing dataset called Fashion Rack. And get this, it's not just a collection of clothing pictures. It's a huge library of actual conversations about fashion. These dialogues are what teach the AI the subtle art of style, covering everything from what pants go with this shirt to much more personal suggestions.
All right, let's see this thing in action. In this example from their research, a user uploads two pictures, one of a graphic t-shirt they own and one of some white sneakers. Then they just ask the AI stylist, hey, what should I wear with these?
And boom, look at the result. The fine-tuned AI doesn't just give a boring text answer, it totally gets the casual, trendy vibe of the shirt and sneakers, and it visually suggests a pair of ripped jeans to complete the look. It's not just searching a database, it's making a real creative style recommendation.
So when you put these two ideas together, the AI analyst organizing the inventory in the background and the AI stylist helping you navigate it all in the foreground, you start to see a whole new vision for how we'll shop online.
The big takeaway is really this. We're moving from a very static, one-way street where you just search for things to a dynamic, two-way conversation. Soon, you'll be able to show an AI what you have, tell it what you like, and get smart, visual ideas right back.
And all of this leads us to one final, kind of fascinating question. As this technology gets more powerful and woven into our everyday lives, you have to wonder, will the person or the thing giving you fashion advice in the future be an algorithm? Based on this research, that future seems a whole lot closer than we might think.